Hello everyone, welcome to A Slice of My Life. We have mail call today. This is a shipment from China from a person named MacKie, and in it is the Tri-Night spinner. So I'm gonna quickly open it up, but before I do that, I want to apologize for the bad lighting, or at least lighting's a little bit different because only one of my two lights is working right now. I'm trying to fix the other one, so I hope this will be fine enough for you guys. Right, so here we go. Just gonna open this thing up. Really well packaged, a lot of bubble wrap, as you can see. I got a serial number 2 for me. Now I'm gonna make sure that I open this up. Double boxed. Now it's open. It's even more bubble wrap. Very good packaging. Very good packaging. MacKie, good job. And in it we have this. Oh, that's beautiful. It's even got his name engraved here. So everyone, this is the Tri-Night by MacKie. I actually spotted this spinner on Taobao. I don't know why, but it was just one day when I decided, you know, I wanted to get myself on Taobao just to go see if there's any unique spinners there, and I found this. And lo and behold, I placed an order. I managed to get a number 2, but the very next day, MacKie decided to post this up on Facebook as well, so that was quite cool. So I'm gonna just open it up and let's try and get the spin out, shall we? I'm gonna get it out. It's super tight. It's really in there. So let me see if I can pull it out some way. How am I supposed to do this? Okay, so we're gonna lift this part up like that. I see. So it's double layer. That's quite cool. 2 layers. My first time seeing something like this. But yeah, beautiful cutouts in the foam. And good packaging. All in all, I think so far it's pretty good. So this is the Tri-Night, guys. First impressions for you. It's got trit slots, so 6 on each side. And I think that the measurement for the trits is 1.5 by 17 millimeters, I think. Or like maybe 16 millimeters. And we have the engraving over here. MacKie, serial number 2. There's a bit of patina going on already. So I guess it was just straight off the machining. You can see some of the machining marks here. Let me see if I can get that in the light or the reflection. Yep, so you can see some of the machining marks here and there. The finish is not the best. You know, it's not the most polished, but it's not bad. It could be a little bit more shiny if you're into those kind of mirror polish. But of course it has the steel balls inside. There is a slot for a set screw that actually holds the bearing in place. Now I'm just giving it a rub down, and I find that this corner might be a little bit sharp. I think right now it's still okay. It's rounded if you rub it this way, but if you rub it this way, it might be a bit sharp. I can't really say for now because, you know, I haven't spun it yet. And we can see the engravings on the buttons. It's pretty nice engraving. I don't know which way is the right way up, but it looks like an origami crane. That's what it looks like to me. Here we go. I'm going to give it a spin and I'll let you know what I think for the first impression with the balls inside for the full weight. So oh, hear that sound? The rattling sound. And that's actually not bad for a one-handed spin. I mean, it's going quite long. You know, feels really smooth. Pretty quiet, honestly, when we're spinning it this way. Like, I can barely hear it, except for the rattle caused by the steel balls. But apart from that, it's actually a really smooth spin. I'm gonna stop it because I don't want to waste everyone's time by just staring at this thing spinning. Now let's open up the buttons if we can. Okay, so it's a screw fit button. And let's see what bearing it houses. And then I'll give you guys more specs about this towards the end of the video. Buttons are out. The lip or the button looks like they're scratched up and scuffed up, right? So it's not really cool. Even though the packaging is great, I think the finishing could be a little bit better, or maybe the handling of it while packing could have been better. This button over here looks a lot better than this button. I mean, this one you can actually feel all the scratches and everything. Now on to the bearing. This is a 688 bearing. It's completely shielded. So I think the reason why it's so quiet is because it's shielded, and that also means that the lubricant's inside. So I need to find a little Allen key so I can take this out and show you guys. So hold on, give me a second. Got my Allen key, and it's a long one. So I'm just gonna loosen it up. It's out now. Yeah, it's coming out, but it's taking quite a lot of effort to do so, just to push it out. You know what, guys? I'm gonna use a coin to help me out. This is way tougher than I'm imagining. So, trying hard to use the coin to get it out. There we go. That took quite a bit of effort, and I'm gonna just remove all the balls because, you know, they're all stuck now. So here we go. So looking on the inside, it seems to be like a really tight fit for a 688 bearing. It's supposed to sit in there, and we're gonna push it in all the way. It's gonna be a pretty tight, snug fit. Then you're still gonna tighten it down with the set screw. That might be a little bit overkill. And we have 6 weights, 6 steel ball weights that we can put in or remove. So it's quite easy to take the weights out and put more in if you want. And you know, some of them actually use tungsten weights. Some use these little plastic transparent weights. They look pretty cool actually. And you have tread slots for this. I'm looking at the bearing again, and upon closer inspection or just trying to spin the bearing, it actually sounds dry. And it's spinning quite well. See if I can get the focus for you. There we go, so that's the focus for you. I'm gonna just spin the bearing on its own, and you'll see that it spins quite freely actually. Yeah, so that's not too shabby. It makes me feel like removing the shields won't actually make much of a difference, but you know me, I'm gonna remove the shields anyway. Yeah, but it's a pretty free spinning bearing. Makes a nice sound that wasn't present when I actually spun the spinner. Yeah, this is my initial impressions on it. I'm just gonna mess around with this guy for the next few days.
One eternity later.
I'm back, and I've spent a solid week with the Tri-Night. Now during this week, not only have I fidgeted with it a lot, I have polished it, I have taken some time spin videos, I've also spoken to MacKie quite a bit. So in the meantime, what I will do is I'll put up, maybe here or here I guess, 2 different time videos for you guys. One is a single hand spin, a vertical spin while I'm walking home, and another is a two-handed table spin. Now for the single hand spin, it easily got me about 1.5 minutes, almost 2 minutes actually. And for the two-handed table spin, it was about 3.5 minutes. And this is like with all the weights intact, so you know, all 6 weights. So most of all, I wanted to let you guys know that I did not have a lot of information about the Tri-Night. And that also means that I didn't even know that it actually came with one of the Allen keys as well. And yes, I chose to leave the set screw out. And the reason why is because the Allen key is actually hidden inside, and I didn't know. So this is actually 3 layers of foam. So I'm going to take it out for you guys to see. This is the first layer, and I removed that so I could take the Tri-Night out. But then I didn't know that you could remove this as well. And then the Allen key was actually stuck underneath inside, so you have to find a way to pry this layer of foam out, and I'm having some difficulty, but yeah, you gotta pry this layer of foam out, and then you'll find the Allen key sitting inside. What I also did was give this guy a polish. Now I mentioned I felt the finishing on this guy could have been better, so you know, that's the reason why I went ahead and polished it, but I realized it was actually really dirty, especially on the inside. I'll try and put a picture up somewhere, you know, where I took a close-up shot of what it looked like inside. And I actually let MacKie know. I told him that things could have been a little bit better, and he apologized, and he said that he neglected not going through a more thorough finishing check, and also, you know, on the scratches on the buttons as well. So I let him know that I could feel these scuffs quite obviously. Now the next thing I want to mention is that the etching on both buttons are a bit different. Like on this side, just look at the smallest triangle over there. The etching on this is just different. Just look at the smallest triangle there, and then we compare it to the smallest triangle here. Right, so you guys can see that this is a lot flatter. There's actually a very distinct flat area on the smallest triangle here, but not on this one. It's like already sharpened. So I think that is the difference between, you know, the 2 halves of the buttons as well. Since we're on the topic of cleaning this guy up, this guy was actually honestly quite a nightmare to clean. So many corners and edges and, you know, nooks and everything. Cleaning this guy is a little bit troublesome. I just want to give you guys a warning, and you have to remove basically the bearings and take out the balls and clean on the inside as well. Now some people might actually enjoy having just 3 balls as opposed to having all 6, and that's really entirely up to you. I just feel that the way the balls will fall in pairs versus having just one looks a bit nicer, but that's a personal preference. You guys just go ahead, play with it, and then you'll realize what I'm talking about. And also I made a mistake. The trit slots are actually not 1.5, it is 2 by 15, so it's 2 mm wide by 15 mm long. That's 6 on each side, so that'll be 12, which will cost you a bomb anyway. Now here's some gripes that I also have to mention to you guys. I find it gripes, but you know, I actually shared it with MacKie and he also gave me feedback. First things first, when I bought this guy, I actually bought it on Taobao, and the very next day after I purchased it on Taobao, he actually moved this into Facebook. And then on Facebook, he had actually another Singaporean spinner enthusiast helping him out in translation, but I think somehow translation went a bit wrong somewhere, and so it was mistranslated to having tungsten weights instead of steel weights. And for great customer service, what MacKie did instead was to provide tungsten weights as well as the steel weights to only those who made the purchase on Facebook, so that did not include mine. So I understood that, but what was not cool in my opinion is that everyone on Facebook received a COA with their spinner. I did not, even though mine is a number 2. And I asked MacKie about it, and his response was that all local sales, which means all sales in China, did not come with a COA. He mentioned that he felt that only countries outside of China wanted the COA. And I explained to him that, you know, it could be for any reason, like it could be for resale value, etc. And the very next day after talking to him about it, well, he was hit with clones. So to all makers out there, it's always good to include a COA with your spinners, especially, you know, if your spinner is gonna be something more of a limited kind of thing. I think he's gonna get me a COA done. One of the main reasons why he didn't like doing COAs is because he felt that his English handwriting was ugly. But I said a COA is a COA. It's proof that you, the maker, made it. So I'm just gonna wait and see how this goes. Anyways, I found my favorite way to fidget with this guy, and that is to have it kind of almost like an angle or vertical, and just to have it back and forth for a little bit like that, just to get the nice rattling sound, then flick it for a little bit, stop it, do the same thing. So I just kept doing that, and I would always do this with my 4th finger when I have an index finger or pointer finger and thumb grip. So I would do this. I know it's annoying as shit, but that sound is just really fun, especially when it's slowing down. I like that sound. Of course, if you have just one ball, the sound is a lot more pronounced, but that's just the way I like it. One thing I'm going to tell you guys is that this actually has a little bit of sharp corners. There are some hot spots here and there, especially when we talk about this edge over here, these two. It's present on all 3 arms, and you know, it's 4 per arm, so it's something that you guys should take note of, especially if you're stopping it this way on the edge. You might actually get caught right here. That's the sharpest corner I could find. Now when we talk about edges, you guys can see it's all rounded nicely, but for some reason this edge on the top feels a bit more sharp than this edge over here. So you might feel some discomfort if you keep on rubbing your hand against it. I don't know, but for me, I don't actually feel much discomfort. Solid brass and stainless steel weights, one of the heaviest spinners that I have. Not as heavy in my opinion as spinning this fidget on full steel or brass weights, but compared to that, this is a lot more ergonomic in terms of being able to just get your finger here and flicking it forward or backwards versus this fidget or any kind of spherical or disc shaped spinner. All in all, I think it's a pretty good spinner. If you guys actually purchase it, I heard that MacKie's making another 50 in his next batch, and there is possibly talks of making a tri-night in stainless steel. Make sure you go ahead and join that Facebook group. I'll put links in the video description so that you guys can check it out. To me, it is not a bad spinner. Really, it's about the looks. Some of you might not like it, some of you will. But is it value for money? Yes. Now I have high hopes for this because he seems quite receptive to feedback. He's very active. Even though he's based in China, he gets on VPN, so he's able to hit up Facebook and everything. So it's easier for him to connect to his customers and to his fan base. But for the fact that he's actually taking the time to listen to each and everyone's feedback, I can only foresee that the Trina will have more and more improvements in the future. I don't know if he will ever think of producing more and more. He did mention that he didn't want to mass produce these. So next batch of 50 and possibly stainless steel. Who knows what's going to happen after that. But one thing for sure, MacKie is just starting out making spinners, and I think that for a first spinner, I think this is a really good job. So kudos to you, MacKie. I'm looking forward to what you have up your sleeve next. So that's what I thought about the Tri-Night, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Now, if you realize I didn't even mention the price, and that's because I mentioned earlier I bought this on Taobao and not in the Facebook group. So I got this for about 60 USD, including shipping over to my place here in Singapore, so from China to Singapore. And I'll try and find out how much it costs if you order on Facebook, and I'll put it up on the screen somewhere. But here's my final recap about it. Here are my thoughts. For about 60 USD, maybe even more or maybe slightly less, I don't really know. But even if it goes up to $70, I think this is pretty good value for money. A solid spinner, very nice, heavyweight, pretty interesting design. Not for everyone, I think, but a lot of you will probably go for slightly more unique looking spinners, and this is definitely a unique looking spinner. Extra fidgetability because of the balls inside, customizability, whether you can choose to have just 3 balls or balls on one side or no balls at all. That's already a fidget thing itself, and that's a plus point. Comes in a nice packaging, comes with an extra tool, should come with a COA and has engraving for the CO number. The downside is that yours might need some cleaning like mine did, and also the bearings come shielded, so I went ahead and I removed the shields. And the bearings that are included are 9-ball 688 bearings. It's easy to find replacements in case you get a crappy bearing, you know what I'm trying to say. It comes with a set screw all the way in. Some people have given their feedback saying the set screw is way too tight. I have it without the set screw completely, so that's just personally your choice. But very nice details here and there. The ability to add tricks if you want. Nice etchings on the buttons. All in all, not a bad spinner if you like a heavier spinner. Now, I also understand that someone actually went ahead and made a fact sheet about this thing, so I'll just probably put it on screen somewhere so you guys can have a look. I think that's interesting that this has garnered quite a pretty big fan base. I would consider it big because, you know, spinners are now a dime a dozen. Good job to MacKie once again. And thanks to all of you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned for the next review, and I will catch you really soon in the next slice of my life. Bye!